Welcome to the English Mood Podcast.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to English Mood Podcast, a place where learning English feels calm, natural, and maybe even a little inspiring. My name is Nora, and I'll be your host for today's story. If you've ever tried to learn English by memorizing long vocabulary lists or complicated grammar rules, you probably know how frustrating that can feel. So here, we do things differently. Instead of studying English like a textbook, we experience English through stories. Because stories help our brains remember language in a much more natural way. In today's episode, you'll listen to a story about change, uncertainty, and discovering a new direction in life. The story is slow and simple. And whenever we hear a word that might be a little difficult, I'll explain it in easy English so you can understand it immediately. No dictionary, no stress. Just listen, relax, and enjoy the story. And if you enjoy learning English this way, don't forget to subscribe to English Mood Podcast, because every week we share new stories that help you improve your listening and vocabulary step by step. All right, let's begin today's story.
It was a Tuesday morning. A completely ordinary morning. Or at least, it started that way. I woke up, stretched my arms, and walked into the kitchen to make coffee. While the coffee machine was working, I opened my laptop and checked my emails. That's when I saw it. One message stood out immediately. The subject line said, "Important update regarding your position." My stomach dropped. When someone says my stomach dropped, it means you suddenly feel nervous or scared. It's that uncomfortable feeling in your body when something bad might happen. I opened the email slowly. The message was short. Too short. It said that because of company changes, my position had been eliminated. In simple words, I had been laid off. To be laid off means losing your job because the company no longer needs that position. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because the company decided to reduce employees. For a few seconds, I just stared at the screen. My mind felt completely blank. Blank means empty, like your brain suddenly stops thinking. 5 years. I had worked at that company for 5 years. Late nights. Important projects. Long meetings. And now, suddenly, it was over. I sat quietly at my kitchen table. The room felt unusually silent. Unusually means different from normal. Usually the morning was busy. Emails, phone calls, deadlines. A deadline is the time when something must be finished. But today, there were no deadlines. No meetings. No responsibilities. Just silence. And uncertainty. Uncertainty means not knowing what will happen in the future. And honestly, uncertainty can feel very uncomfortable. Because people like control. Control means feeling like you understand what is happening in your life. But that morning, I had no control at all. After a while, I decided to go outside. Sometimes when your thoughts feel heavy, a walk can help. Heavy thoughts do not mean physical weight. It means your mind feels stressed or overwhelmed. To feel overwhelmed means feeling like there are too many emotions or problems at once. The city was already awake. People were rushing to work. Cars moved quickly through the streets. Everyone looked busy. Everyone looked like they had somewhere important to go. And that made me feel even more lost. Lost doesn't always mean you don't know where you are. Sometimes it means you don't know where your life is going. I walked for about 20 minutes until I reached a small park. There was a wooden bench under a tall tree. I sat down and looked around. A father was teaching his daughter how to ride a bicycle. Two friends were laughing loudly. An elderly woman was feeding birds. Elderly means old or advanced in age. Life around me continued normally. But my life suddenly felt paused. Paused means temporarily stopped. Like pressing the pause button on a video. That's when something unexpected happened. A small golden dog suddenly ran toward me. Its tail was wagging so fast it looked like a tiny fan. When a dog's tail wags, it moves quickly from side to side. Usually it means the dog is happy or excited. The dog jumped onto the bench next to me. A moment later, a young woman walked over, slightly out of breath. Out of breath means breathing quickly because you were running or moving fast. "I'm so sorry," she said. "He loves meeting new people." I smiled. "It's okay," I said. The dog sat beside me like we had known each other forever. The woman introduced herself. Her name was Emma. We started talking. At first, it was just small talk. Small talk means casual conversation about simple topics. Like the weather. Or the city. Or the dog. But after a few minutes, she asked a question. "How's your day going?" I hesitated. To hesitate means to pause because you feel unsure. But something about her kindness made me answer honestly. "I got laid off this morning," I said. She nodded slowly. Then she said something interesting. Sometimes losing something is how we make space for something new. Her words stayed in my mind. That evening, I went home and opened a notebook. I decided to write down my thoughts. Writing helps me reflect. To reflect means to think deeply about something. I wrote one simple sentence. My life is changing, and maybe that's not a bad thing. The next morning, I made a decision. Instead of worrying about the future every day, I would try one new experience every week. An experience is something you do that teaches you something. My first experiment was simple. I decided to volunteer at a local community center. To volunteer means working to help people without getting paid. The community center helped immigrants learn English. An immigrant is a person who moves to another country to live there. When I arrived, the building looked old but welcoming. Welcoming means making people feel comfortable and accepted. A man named Carlos greeted me at the door. To greet someone means to say hello and welcome them. Carlos showed me around the building. People were learning computer skills. Others were practicing English. A small group was painting pictures. Painting helps people express emotions. To express means showing your thoughts or feelings. Carlos asked if I would like to help with the English class. At first, I felt nervous. Nervous means feeling worried about doing something new. But I said yes. The students came from many different countries. Some spoke very little English. But they were all trying. Trying is the most important part of learning. One student tried to say kitchen, but he accidentally said chicken. Everyone laughed. But they laughed kindly. Kindly means in a friendly and gentle way. Instead of feeling embarrassed, he laughed too. To feel embarrassed means feeling shy or uncomfortable because of a mistake. That moment changed the atmosphere. The room felt relaxed. Relaxed means calm and comfortable. The students started speaking more, making more mistakes, but also learning faster. Weeks passed. Every week I returned to the community center. And something interesting happened. My confidence started growing. Confidence means believing in your abilities. But something else also happened. The students inspired me. To inspire means giving someone motivation or new ideas. One evening, a student named Sasha stayed after class. He told me something that touched my heart. When something touches your heart, it affects you emotionally. He said, "When I arrived in this country, I felt invisible." Invisible means feeling like nobody notices you. But learning English makes me feel part of society. Society means the community of people living together in a place. His words reminded me how powerful language can be. Language connects people. To connect means bringing people together. Months later, the community center organized a small event. An event is a planned gathering. Students were invited to show their progress. Progress means improvement over time. Some students told stories. Others gave short speeches. A speech is a short talk given to an audience. When Ahmed stood up to speak, he looked nervous. But he took a deep breath and began. His English wasn't perfect, but it was brave. Brave means showing courage even when you feel afraid. When he finished speaking, everyone applauded. To applaud means clapping your hands to show appreciation. I felt incredibly proud, but also grateful. Grateful means feeling thankful for something meaningful. That night, I realized something important. Losing my job had led me somewhere better. Not better in money, but better in purpose. Purpose means having a meaningful reason to do something. Helping others gave my life direction again. And somehow, the students were helping me just as much as I was helping them. Sometimes life changes suddenly. Suddenly means very quickly and unexpectedly. We lose jobs. We lose plans. We lose certainty. But those moments can open new paths. And sometimes, the worst day of your life becomes the beginning of something beautiful.
Thank you so much for listening to today's story. I hope it helped you practice English in a calm and meaningful way. If you want to improve faster, try listening to this story again. Pause the video. Repeat the sentences. This method is called shadowing. Shadowing means repeating what you hear to improve pronunciation and fluency. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, subscribe to English Mood Podcast, and share it with a friend who is also learning English. I'm Nora. Thank you for spending this time with me. And remember, every small step you take in learning English is progress. So keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. See you in the next episode of English Mood Podcast.